Thanks for staying with us, and you're going to be really excited you stuck around. We've got a local celebrity in the studio, Mark Silvers. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
Mark, if you haven't already figured it out, Mark is the winner of this past season's version of the Big Break Greenbrier. And Mark is a Savannah native, and I'd love to get into all his background and his history. We don't have time for that because everybody wants to hear about the Big Break. Yeah. Mark, I know you were a player at USC, and you've got a pretty decorated amateur career on the mini tours. But let's jump right into the Big Break. How in the world did you get selected for the show? What's the process? Well,
they were actually holding auditions at a NGA or Hooters Tour event that I was playing last year in down in Ocala. And a friend of mine who's actually now my agent had called me, and he represents Tommy Gainey and a couple other guys, and he called me and said, "Are you going to do, I saw there's a Big Break audition down in Ocala, are you going to do it?" I was like, "No, I just need to focus on what I'm doing." He said, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?"
Wow.
And I said, "All right, it can't hurt," and wound up getting picked for the show.
So it took a little bit of needling and prodding to get you to even go.
Yeah, I'd actually tried out once before, and I wasn't sure if it was right for me or whether I had the big enough personality that they were looking at. But I'd kind of played it up the first time I tried to audition, which was right after I turned pro, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go on there and try to be myself, and it worked out.
Well, yourself was pretty good. It was good enough. How many contestants?
There was 12.
12, okay. Well, I remember back last year, you came on and said, you guys I know are friends from Savannah.
Yeah.
You would come on and said, a good friend of mine has just been selected for the Big Break, so be watching.
Well, it was funny because I sent him a text. Every once in a while, if there's some kind of little tournament or something, I'd call him, hey, if you're not out on the tour, you want to come play? And I'd sent him a couple texts and didn't hear from him, and then heard from another friend that he was out of town filming something, and I'm thinking, well, what could he be filming? And then they started showing the little glimpse. And then I texted back and realized he was back at, he was done filming the show and they were showing him on TV. So then I was like, that's why I never answered the text.
Put two and two together.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's pretty top secret.
Yeah, well, that was my next question. So you get selected, then you have to obviously go and do all of the fulfillment stuff, which is, first of all, the contract. And I know there's a clause in there that has a pretty strict arrangement.
Yeah, no, they kind of keep you in the dark so that you don't divulge any information about the show, especially after you get selected. There's only about 2 or 3 weeks between when they tell you you're going to be on the show and when you leave. Wow. And they don't send you your flight information until right before you get ready to leave, and they don't tell you where you're going.
So they keep it all top secret.
Yeah.
It's like a Navy SEAL mission or something.
Yeah, and as soon as you get there, they take your phone, they take your computer, and you just kind of go off the grid for a couple of weeks. And
wow.
You certainly get some interesting voicemails when you get back.
Yeah, people looking for you.
People looking for you. Yeah, how do you just leave and not tell anybody? So it was certainly interesting trying to dodge questions, especially right when I got done.
Now, how was it walking into Greenbrier when you guys got off the bus or the shuttle and you're walking in and you just see this facility that the tournament's being played and it's kind of one of the top tier events and everybody wants to be in it?
Well, I didn't know a whole lot about the Greenbrier. Obviously in the golf community we've learned more now that they've got a PGA Tour event there, but
right.
It's always just from the commercials you see and the little snippets, it's almost like a mystical place, and when you step out, it feels like you're in a different time when you get out of the bus and you look around that place. It was a really, really neat experience.
It's got quite an ambiance, and the Golf Channel did, I thought, a really good job of bringing that out.
Yeah.
I know Tom Watson's got a big affiliation there. Right. As a result of your win, are you going to get to meet Tom, or is there anything in there that I know you get to play in the tournament coming up? Or what other perks, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, they had a nice package for the guy who wins, which is certainly anybody who plays golf, whether it be on the mini tours or where I'll be on the web.com tour with Dick's Sporting Goods and Avis Rent-A-Car. But it did come out nice. I'm going to have Greenbrier on my bag this year and have a little relationship with them, which is certainly a huge honor.
No question. Now, when is that tournament?
It's over July 4th.
Okay, so you've got about 4 some months to get groomed and ready to roll.
Yeah.
I imagine the butterflies are already starting to churn a little bit, anticipating that.
Yeah.
But you've got quite a pedigree, and again, you've played professionally a long time, and probably went through what I would imagine would be one of the most pressurized 15-day grinds on that show that anybody could imagine, even people that have, you've been to Q school as well. How do you compare that experience to the pressure of just regular golf?
Well, what I was telling everybody is I was fortunate enough in 2010, not long after I turned pro, I qualified for the U.S. Open.
That's what I was going to ask him about,
at Pebble Beach. And
okay.
You know, and all those challenges, just the way it's set up, pretty much every day felt like the first tee of that U.S. Open.
Interesting.
And you know, it's brutal, and you just kind of have to figure out ways to not show that you're shaking.
Yeah, well, because again, not only are you going through the emotions of the pressure, but you got cameras on you, you got eyeballs on you, people are watching and calculating and documenting your every move.
Right.
So then you got to throw all that in there. You never faced an elimination in the entire show. Well, that speaks volumes, and I didn't even know that about the U.S. Open. So, you know, really, the experience of being in those pressure situations is invaluable, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. And you know, I think experiencing all that pressure on the show has helped me and is going to continue to help me in the long run. No
question. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to get more into Mark's final show and who he beat, how he beat him, and what those feelings were like. So come back and join us.